Now, who would have thought the most talked about game this year is one based in France that's actually an RPG. Turn-based mechanics that probably died back out in 2020. That's right, that game I'm talking about is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. What's good? What's happening, guys? It's Sam, MrBlitztek, and yes, that's today. We're going to talk about Expedition 33 and probably the reasons why
you're probably going to hate this game and probably never going to touch it.
You're probably asking yourself, never going to touch it. I'm telling you right now, this game definitely asks you, what if an RPG were emotionally manipulative marathons that was dressed as a masterpiece? And you're like, oh, I do like masterpieces, but I don't want to be emotionally compromised when I'm playing the game. Right off the bat, the story throws you in with the subtlety of a drunk rhino in a glass museum. Straight away you're feeling all the dread, all the urgency, all the weight on your shoulders, and you've got this heavy task to try and stop the paintress from basically ever doing what she's doing ever again for the past couple of years. It's not the best thing in the world, but that is the mission. We must continue. We get it, people are going to be sad, it's France, I wouldn't be happy if I was living there anyway, but let's dive into the reasons why you're going to avoid this title. One of the first reasons you're going to avoid this title is definitely the adult themes that they definitely implement that kind of other RPGs kind of shy away from time to time. This one grabs you by the neck and tells you,
you're coming in, you have no choice.
They proudly parade around the adult theme, just like you discovered that blood exists in RPGs. I can't remember the last time I remember blood in an RPG, but this one definitely throws it in your face. It's almost like, oh no, we got burnt faces, there's blood everywhere. Calm down, it's not Game of Thrones, it's just your weekly trauma dump with just turn-based mechanics. There's blood, there's trauma, there's everything, there's high stakes, there's a lot going on here, right here. And if you ain't got that emotional investment, you know where the door is.
Why are you doing this?
Next, I'd like to talk about the system that they put into this game when you're leveling up and you're using your skill moves and stuff. I mean, it's quite simple, but simplicity is for weaklings, right? So if you like hard, grizzled leveling up system, yeah, don't come here. This isn't for you either. Now, the Picto and Lumia system does sound like a rejected Nintendo peripheral. Like I said, it's simple, really effective. So those who want to gush over a 500-page tutorial about how to level up, how to connect your skills and all kind of riff-raff, this definitely isn't for you. It's simple, it's effective, you've got numbers, add them up, and kind of pertaining to how you want your characters to act, having a mixture of what character does this, complements this character, complements that character. It really does bring the team well together. And if you're not about teamwork, I don't know about you, because if your team ain't gonna work, then there's no dream right here at all. You're just gonna fail miserably. You can't complete the expedition by yourself. I mean, you can. That system's almost built into the game as well, but if you're not building correctly, and like you're saying, if you just want something really hard, something that you don't really understand, something that you're gonna have to go on YouTube for to understand even more within depth, yeah, you're gonna have to go somewhere else for that. Let's move on to the characters. The characters here, like I said, they're all from France. They've got that je ne sais quoi about them. And if you're quite the racist and you've got someone that you want to relate to quite here, you're gonna struggle, I'm not gonna lie. Characters here, I've got so much depth, so much development, it actually makes me want to come back like cook crack, I ain't gonna lie. Every member of the cast walks in like they've been ripped out from a Netflix ensemble drama of the best kind. So well-rounded, so relatable, if you're not racist, and almost cared about. Everyone has their own fleshed out kind of history and fleshed out kind of reason why they're going on the expedition in the first place. I mean, there's sometimes I almost cared, but then I remembered I was supposed to be slashing monsters and nightmare creatures and not clearing my trauma drama at all. But they always bring it back with good fleshed out cutscenes, good voice acting. The voice acting here is so on point, so on par. I mean, just look at the cast right here. They've got Charlie Cox, Jennifer English, Ben Starr, Andy Serkis, Kirsty Ryder, Shia Nix, Rich Keeble, Maxine Crizola. I mean, the list is actually nuts. Apologies if I got anyone's name wrong, but guys, if you just want text-based kind of narrative, you want the text that's come up on the screen, then again, you gotta have to go somewhere else, maybe to one of your pixelated journeys of RPG relatable stuff. That is also fine, but here the voice acting is very rich, it's very relatable, very done well, and I can't praise the team enough. And I say this once and I say this again, turn-based gaming kind of died out in 2020. It wasn't done very well, or just, how can I say, it was just brought back, same kind of stuff, rare tear. So you like turn-based and you're looking for more of an action RPG where you can move around as free as you want, you're gonna have to go home, mate. But this game, this is bringing back turn-based RPGs with a Noble Crusade. I mean, they're going through the town, making sure they're ringing that bell and saying, come with us or you're gonna die. I never thought I'd want to see QTEs in my turn-based kind of style based game. I would just rather be calculating what's my next move, what's my best move, and how can I exact that. But here, in between fights, you gotta make sure you're countering, parrying, jumping, doing all kind of gradient attacks. There's a plethora of stuff you gotta think about just past your own special move and your special abilities. Also, like I said, you're thinking about the team, everything else is going on. There's a lot that just encompasses here with your skills, your perks, your other characters. Like I said, it's just a good mishmash here going on. There's just a lot to think about. So maybe that 500-page tutorial I was talking about earlier with the Picto and Lumia system probably bleeds into here. And if that's too much for you, then like I said, action RPGs is probably more of your jam, because there's a lot to think about and there's not a lot of laser design here at all. And that leads me on to the fights and the monsters in particular, because the enemies are so unforgiving. Now, if you don't want to think about too tough how to beat the enemies, because they can be quite difficult and unforgiving, this game has got you right here. But there is more, because there's also a difficulty slider from easy, normal, and hard, just in case you're crying and you just want to get through the story as soon as possible. But if you do want to challenge and not care about the story at all, or you care about the story at the same time, and you think games are just too easy, you want to be that boss guy, then you can crank it up to the highest difficulty as possible, and probably just add on a couple more hours into your gameplay, because you're going to die so much unless you actually are that kind of boss kind of guy. But boss battles, super fantastic. Average fighting sequences, feels like an event, especially the music going on. Enemy variety, it's going to keep you guessing for a long time. So if you don't like thinking too much, if you just like to turn on your console or PC and just trail through enemies like they're pale toast in the winter sun, then this might be for you for sure. Now, if you don't like traveling at all and you just want to stay in the four walls of inside your house, then yeah, you're gonna get lost in this magical world for sure. The world building in this game is unimaginable, especially when it ties into the story yet again. You're going through this thing and you're just blown away by the graphical fidelity of these lush fields and amazing landscapes that you probably wouldn't have even dreamed of, to be honest. It is just a magical place. I'm not talking about Toys R Us. I know gaming is for escapism, but here, they're just insulting you with that and slapping you over the face with it with no accountability whatsoever. I don't know how not only the landscapes, but the soundtrack also makes it elegant but moody, everything so well timed. It just sounds like the French culture for sure. And they know what they're doing, because this is just their kind of flair. Everything screams je ne sais quoi. I don't even know what I just said there, but that's what the game does to you. It just sounds sexy and it just knows what it's doing. Va va voom. I'm just gonna keep doing all that kind of stuff, because not only do I want to learn French, but at the same time, I do want to dive into the world and the culture, especially when I dive into this game too. So yeah, so when it comes to Expedition 33, I mean, there is so much to encompass. I can't even really fit into the video, to be honest. You're just gonna have to go out and play it, because like I said, if you want to avoid RPGs, if you want to avoid a turn-based system, if you just want to avoid good characters almost like you're feeling you're playing like some kind of movie or TV show, complex storytelling, This game almost has it all. So if you want something kind of simplistic, not so adult-y, something that feels like more of a toy and something that's not gonna play with your emotions, then you're gonna have to go somewhere else. But at the same time, Expedition 33 does tick almost every single box. The only thing I would say that it's kind of lacking in is the graphic system. It's not great, but it doesn't ruin the experience at all. It just makes up everywhere else. I actually thoroughly recommend this game, but if you don't like the points I made here, make sure you comment down below and let me know what would you rather have in Expedition 33. Would you rather have an action RPG? Would you rather it be based on another continent? What do you feel about the voice acting? All them things there, and I'll see you guys on the next level. Peace out, Rainbow Trout.